me lawyer bio. Tell me yakwan. In the first November, ukede. The one when you mess family anon base in 2-story and call office. And people say some that are not some for now say that I'm saying whether I'm monko. And the crime I could discard a toa. May Bob may and I'm discarded the other. I will do a mature always in not some terms. We can almost just another question. Almost.
Denia ensem so Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe ene wotutu nanamo ya gani akọ eye bia won ho akire wo mu a nsu afa wo no no wo kwanye ono nko Volta River Authority mpanimfo ene atorenche mu aboafo mpanimfo nademo wonom koye ekododo wo mo esan de noma ema won.
I interacted with both chiefs. They both spoke to camera, and none of them raised this issue that, in fact, if you listen carefully, the chief who spoke first said that he was going to move his people to Saglame. But how the government's intervention has come, he's no longer going to do that. That was precisely what the chief said. So get the reportage right. Because government, they've seen the impact of what government is doing, and they don't think there's a need to move his people to Saglame. I'm not sure if Saglame is available to be moved into.
Having assessed the economic impact, is there going to be any financial package for the women or the people here to start their livelihoods again?
I've said, and I'll repeat, that I came here on behalf of VRA.
That's as part of the interministerial
so the interministerial committee has spokespersons and has a chair. And I'm sure they would engage the public as they unveil their. Last weekend they were in KJB, those areas up the river. So we are still in the midst of flooding. Huge parts of the country has flooded because of those that live in the Volta Basin and living within the catchment area of the Volta River. So it has to be a well thought out plan to roll out an intervention.
Sesiano, me see your recovery phase. And which I say, Niama ewoho ana intibia nkrofonu wom ansana to HMC ye no. Ya bomodi yana say ye bibi ama niama no wodada no ebe back sa inti ye hwese nso na aka wo krumo no beko ye hwese school for beko school ye hwese kwan a ase no ye behwe eno so aye ye hwese be bia power nso ba ye behwe restore ye hwese hospital ni clinics omunye ejuma nso ye behwe no so enu face no na ewo ye we nyina egusu che niama omu hia te say eduane ntade books ani niama akandi omu hia nyina ama omutibia no ebeye okay kakra
yanko yenanimu yade bia ye friend anthrax a etimi free aboa so na akosan enipa ye se nano ebiti se eye esrem atife do mantemo na no na mrahye badwam honorable kwabna minta akando ndc mrahye badwani na ksan bisa bia wo troto ho no mu a dafiema busie mrahye badwani ebisa ma no se saa yade na ati atese no die na osofo hwe apomden wo ye afa ho no nti obisa ye no Yensen training Emmanuel Kwaku ansa na omrahye badwa fi ho no mo a wode enkrane bi ebreye.
I rise to ask the Minister for Health what measures the ministry has put in place to manage and contain the recent anthrax outbreak.
Of this unfortunate situation, the ministry, in collaboration with Kolebu and the Minister of Finance, is considering one of the following options: the possible inclusion of dialysis on the National Health Insurance Benefit Package, the granting of subsidies based on proposal received from Kolebu, and the possible review of the tariffs to ensure sustainability of the services. And Mr. Speaker, it may interest you to note that the private health facilities charge between 800 and 1,300 Ghana cedis for just a session of dialysis. The decision on the options enumerated above, Mr. Speaker, will be announced as soon as practicable. Mr. Speaker, as part of our non-communicable diseases roadmap, the ministry and its agencies will continue to raise awareness for prevention and early detection to reduce renal disease and minimize the burden on the renal units in the health sector. When this is realized, the total cost of care and the need for dialysis will be brought to the barest minimum. Mr. Speaker, government has invested, with the support of Parliament, by approving facilities for us in the construction of a 100-bed ultramodern urology and nephrology center of excellence at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, which will be commissioned by the end of the first quarter next year, 2024. This is aimed at facilitating the provision of kidney transplantation services, among others. Mr. Speaker, this will further reduce the dialysis burden on the nation and the need for Ghanaians to travel abroad for these services. A local team has been trained to provide these services, transplantation services, at reduced cost, and have already undertaken the first few kidney transplantations successfully in country by our Ghanaian doctors. Mr. Speaker, I believe this is the beginning of the government's vision of making Ghana a hub for medical tourism.
Na wachimu asamba ko esiye ne say His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Bawumia fifi mantemu keko suapon mu dwumadie bi a wodie wokwase na wodurase no ne nsemo a wode tudwa ene say woba obeye mampanyi e wo mayimu a ade ba ko obehwe ne say manfo benya adwuma ye ebi onso yatena ye enoma nyina bekotote na afe galamse wahwe amye ye firi ho eno achi no obere say oman ne betintim oman ne sikasem ebekoyie
Subambone ahodo a nam so ama oba ade bobro niam a ode adomo man asese bi te se galamse adwumadie eni atwitwa ene kwanbone ahodo a nam so eyi mpata wapumu aka ho bi ama Ghana mampani abedi achi Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia a ene onukue a ene betu franka ama MPP amanyekuo no ede aba betudwa se ade ba ko esi nani so pa na ode be hye NPP amanyekuo ne manifesto a ode be bawa afimpi mienu ne aduonu nan abato ni mu no ene se obepepo masibre ama saa hawo yi nyina Pani abediachi Dr. Bawumia nkase mu awedwumadie sonko bi e course wo University of Cape Coast ena wochi mi se ene obepie mu omamu a enwuma ho akwatwe nenso se oman Ghana timi twa nani akwakohwe kwan ahode obefa so apepo masibira masa hawi a ebeboa pa abenwuma abo omamu na adasanso etimi atenase wa bra obade abobrenye mo adomye no ye bo ho ban.
It is possible. Let us leave a legacy of a thriving, sustainable, and vibrant blue economy for generations to come. For all these reasons, the MPP manifesto and my leadership will have a strong, inclusive blue economy component because I believe in the great potential that an inclusive, sustainable blue economy can contribute significantly to the creation of jobs, food security.
Pro-Vice Chancellor Emma University of Cape Coast, Professor Mrs. Rosemond Bo Hene Enkase mu ade adesode to abayanim se ho akohia pa sa aba ene wona onim din ebeka bum wa pepomasibra ma obade wiem sakraya enya zusanso ewo man so no.
The blue economy in Africa and Ghana is fraught with both challenges and opportunities. One of the most pressing threats is overfishing, which depletes our fishing stock, damages the marine ecosystem, and jeopardizes the livelihood of countless coastal communities. Climate change and plastic pollution are exacerbating these problems, with rising sea temperatures and ocean acidification causing immeasurable harm to the marine life. These threats are interconnected and require comprehensive action to mitigate.
Yet was so na Trade Union Congress ejadifo eko baako wamone His Excellency Alhaji His Excellency John Dramani Mahama JDM akwakohia wono no wokra frankamu ama NDC amanyoko no na ho no kire de oba obeye ama ejadifo ewo mayimu osi ehwe omayimu a komi ya bata enoma nyina asai efa edwadie ensem eho MPP ena asai no no de oba obeye no ye.
Our beloved country has been hit very hard by harsh economic conditions over the last couple of years. Under this current administration, Ghana has witnessed severe adverse effects due to what we in the NDC and many Ghanaians consider a self-inflicted economic crisis. The high inflation rate, high cost of living, destruction of jobs, debt crisis, and negative impact on investors are some of the effects of this administration's failed policies. The economic crisis has significantly impacted workers and citizens generally. Unemployment rates, particularly amongst the young people, have risen to their highest in recent memory, making it difficult for many to find stable and decent paying jobs. Inflation and exchange rate volatility have eroded workers' purchasing power and have pushed many beyond the poverty line, below the poverty line. The healthcare and education sectors have also been negatively affected with inadequate funding and deteriorating quality of services. Our economy is plagued by high public debt levels, which hinder investments in social and economic development projects. And I give you, for example, in 2016, if you shared the public debt of 120 billion among 30 million Ghanaians, each Ghanaian owed 4,000 Ghana cedis. Today, if you divide the debt of 577 billion by 30 million Ghanaians, all of us sitting here owe 19,000 cedis. This, coupled with a relatively high unemployment rate, particularly amongst the youth, exacerbates the challenges faced by our citizens.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama anosi ya penatro for Emma Trade Union Congress Dr. Anthony Yalba wadi to dwa se enoma dodo no ehia pa se base dwade ebegina ye tintim asori biem agina ho ewo mayi mu a ewo nhehye ye sunku bia ewo se omampanyin ni aban bia edigu akwam.
And under that we focus on human development, which is something we have neglected, for a long time. We want to bring attention back to human development as the core of our development. Then section number 2, economic policy. As you can imagine, we spend a lot of time discussing and debating the issues under economic policy. And now I'll give you a taste of what we have for this country. Section 3 deals with the labor market. And when I get there, there are subheadings that we think we need to engage. Section 4, one important sector that we need to pay attention to. Section 4, energy and power. Because that must provide the raw material for development, especially industrial development, job creation, and so on. And then the 5th one, some of my comrades were thinking we should rather bring that first. It has to do with governance. But this has not been arranged in any particular order. Once it's in the manifesto, they are equally important.
Yanko sikasam ene oman kuntebuo ene akohomesika ensam eho na aban e de abetu dwa se de ekoyi de enchekura eye wukwade de anim ya eye 15th November bosumidu ba ko etoso edunum no womo e de oman no akohomesika obeyi na fi mpemienu ene aduonu nan no ebetu dwa no so afo hwe emrase bedwamu ensensam so ene de ensam no betu dwa.
Sani afia mahankono de okunu mienu amamra no etie no abosumi nchichemu ahodo bia eya na oman sana hene kopi mu ho na ode oman akonhomasika ekoto mrahye bedwa no anim eno mu na oman Ghana de hwehwe anim se afempi mienu ne aduonu na yebesim no akonhomasika nda ben na osoafo de baba betu edwa ye nam so ama edom kase wo mrahye bedwafie opani odano wonimnyamfo se eche mensa bonsu ene de de baba betu dwa se odomfo ya adom a okuade ewu yanim ya eya ade a wonimnyamfo for yata ebekwa akopie mu mrahye bedefie no de akonmasika no akwakotu dwa osoafo yi nkase mu ene wo wie ne se senti akwade wo yanim na osoafo ba pie mu mrahye bedefie de akonmasika na betu dwa ne se ayma no enkonkobu Public Financial Management Act no eso
has, according to the IPU, a minimum of 8 weeks to interrogate the budget before coming up with the appropriations bill. Unfortunately, as I've indicated, we have barely 6 weeks. In fact, it's for that reason that your PFMA, your Public Financial Management Act, prescribes that the last date for submitting the budget is November 15th. And that's the reason why it's coming on the 15th, Wednesday, the 15th of November. Usually the budgets are read on Thursdays. So initially we were thinking that it should hold on 16th. That is subject to the agreement of all of us. We had agreed that it could be submitted on the 16th, just to be in conformity with the dates of presentation. But because we have very limited time, and because of the fact also that the 16th incidentally happens to be the date for the state funeral of the former First Lady, we thought it would be better to just be congruent with the provisions of the Act and bring it forward to the 15th, which is a Wednesday. So next week, Wednesday, we're going to have it.
Yanko engumesua emo Dr. Yao Osei Educhum Ghana ngumesua swafo enono ose time changes lokachi yazaki ebredane so a wana na ho efra watete kwa ose Ghana ngumesua tete die titile no ebremu die e wo so sesemu no ode abefo kwan a wode sua engoma eba.
Hear from our stakeholders, but let me simply take 2 minutes of your time to underscore the fact that in education, what we are doing is to change the space that the children learn and the space where the teachers teach, to give them a better environment so when a teacher wakes up in the morning, he could not wait to get into his classroom because the classroom environment is so inviting. So when you look at what we have done in the area of junior high schools, for example, you're going to see that we have embarked on a major transformation agenda that will put to rest that it's no longer the case that public schools are defined as rectangular shaped buildings painted brown and yellow with students wearing brown and yellow uniforms.
Akachi a Ghana mfango nsam so National Petroleum Authority mpenifo e de atodwa se womo di fo ana se womo afa kwantene ne anya womo adwuma e wo wonom ase no ana woni o hye womo ase a womo aye no ma bia entwa yie amfa kwam no womo de womo befa emra kwan so enche kra.
So we share MPA Act 2005 Act 691 e my sa kwan ne say so bitia MPA mra ye china so e de ne court na e mayen MPA kwan say yanka say de nipa ne be kwa kogina court na emomo no je say ye kogina attorney general chi ma ono no ebo won kwadu no wode won kogina court na say court no ehwe say nipa ko no atumra na de asotwe bi e wo no de ama won ana say ye be ma police for aboye no mo de o makogina ho no na ondo akọ asenibia na say no attorney general say na me kan kai ama yen sa kwan enti no ehye da ho no mo e wo se ye ebi ne say na ye di hia media for na mo so mo de sansem we nyina atodwa ama oman mu ni nyina ati na ye wo mo say ye pese ma mo so mo say from 2024, beginning of the year 2024, first quarter, the best started, they are started the amount for African courts. Now, they are all moving. So, much to MBA in Ran, they don't be a bit more hard than I do on mobile. They will be a high idea on mobile. It's in a mere one. I fear it.
And so we are home and Kuntabu ebededi say, e was santimantem hanko a woni a wode famo cars akese lole akese mu kodi atrantwie no ebe edumiensa na kana chichie abemu.
before no yenya chief executive or very helpful obwa na we na baby but no point me nti ye show bibia say on bia moyen say bibi hu bi na enye ebia ni nyina ni yenim baby ayefa ye hu so far ye hu 80 ya hu adwuma ye ama omo a e wo say security agents I be hu adwuma nti ye show bibia say bi wo fie nim a wo beti ya man police we hu say emra emma hu kwan say obi beton fuo e wo kiosk ni obi beton fuo e wo table so obi beton fuo e wo container it's a shanty region ye challenge kasi buy table it's actually different routes, but majority na
Tidena mo as MPA Maya Fahon.
Yechiwo say biana mekan MPA jina kwan so police bona omada romo mo kwa em yechiwo. Enti yechiwa na emwa ene wafa. Said what you confront you into obewo. But on the call baby a any license. It was all because why a license the right channel. But it's not say only license no was say no that it was a full station license station no at their farm at the park
is it a number started prosecution? Is this from next year or my job?
I can't tell on that. That's our leave.
About your commissar ashe no edinsusu bi koto mrahye badwamu a opese wode eya mpeso afoforo eba ofreno gwan constituency na sensusu ofreno constitutional instrument about your commissar say say oyi afri mrahye badwamu se de ebeya ebeboa ama afi mensi abato ana eya assembly members abato no entwentwen na ase ana se enkachi de no eno manfo ekase maami wanyade
America krani ena betogwa ekire se electoral commission no ero yenhyehye se wo besangatew constituency ahrubi ewo mangana mu eyimpo na nipa bi susu se eyade a worba betetew mensi ahrododo na enengachi ena electoral commission betogwa ekire se enye no kware na emomu no biai baako a enen ewo oti mantam no emu a wofre no Santrokofi Akpafo Lolobi Likpe Sao constituency ena mprempren worba betew se de ebeya ebeboa ma abato ho nsem atimi akonkan na eyi ena abesanga togwa bio akere se saa hyehyei anase constitutional instrument CI a yisi erkodan emrahye begwa no wore ye ho dwuma se wonya obesan atwen asan won achibio majority leader honorable oseche mensa bonsu ena oda asama nsem yadi bre a on nsem kyerefo wore twen komo e wo mrahye begwam okasai
position was that if they had spoken to me earlier the second request would not have been necessary. Because if there's nothing before us at the time, you cannot put something on nothing. So the request to withdraw something that had not been laid was not even necessary. However, the speaker's attitude was that people has misconstrued what was happening in Parliament. They thought that instrument had come to Parliament and Parliament was sitting on it, the creation of that other constituency. So the speaker took the attitude that we should have it presented to Parliament and they could come later to withdraw it. So we submitted the withdrawal and we had agreed to withdraw it even in my absence.
Enengachi ena minority leader Yera Atoforsen enso kasa na wachira dabi. Teleda commission so wo so won pew. Saa hyehyei a waye so bete wo no wo ma ho kwan ma won santwen insan won achi bio.
Actually hold the district level election for one constituency after you have actually gone through the processes of electing assembly members for the other constituencies. So on that basis, the Electoral Commission has no grounds to withdraw the CI. And let me put it this way. Between the Subsidiary Legislation Committee members and the Electoral Commission, there has been an agreement that the CI will no longer be withdrawn.
Yebejina ha near day, Mementa Numreno Siakase no SC. Yabarka Gajamala Lape, Namiakata Tanya Fijiam, you wala don, to port Siezo Zoe, to port Siamfa, to port Sepam, Obrigado, I Sabu Warisi. Openo mochumi mungo de asan kushu yeda mu nyina mo ase medin e de PSA ladi Oyerepa TV Efrinyame